Hey guys, how's it going? Sky over here for Espresso with Sky. Thank you so much for joining us for another vlog today, and I'm here at another cafe all the way over there here in Bangsar, and it is, it's a chain. It's coffee bean and tea leaf, right? Personally, I prefer the coffee from specialty coffee places, independent. But today is the last day of before the MCO starts in KL tomorrow. So there's a lockdown happening. So it's like 10:30 at night, 10:45 actually, and I'm doing my last vlog recording. I've done like 4 today. So if you see this gray shirt, you know it was all in the same day, the day before the lockdown happens. Guys, if it's your first time here, go ahead and hit the subscribe, smash that notification bell. And if you want to help us out, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you really want to help us out in the comments, I want you to, I got a question for you guys that you guys can answer. And the question is, what is your favorite sporting brand? Is it Adidas? Is it Nike? Is it New Balance? Under Armour? Which one's your favorite sporting brand? For me, absolutely Nike. I go Nike and nothing else. I love Nike. Of course, I do have other brands, but this is my favorite of all favorites. All right. Either way, so let's get into today's vlog. And I'm going to tell you a couple stories here today because I kind of answer a question that a lot of people ask me, because they always ask me like, hey, you're a pastor. What made you become a pastor? What made you believe in God? And what makes that baby cry in the background? Yes, it's packed in here because it's the last day before the lockdown in KL. But I'm gonna tell you a story, okay? And it has to do with that sound you hear. It has to do with the exact same sound. Because I'm gonna tell you not every reason why I believe in God existing or whatever it is, but I'm gonna tell you some scary stories that tell you why I can start, you start to believe in a God out there. There's 2 different ways that I've heard ghost stories. Number 1 is my personal experience, and number 2 is experience from other people that I have direct contact with. I'm gonna tell you the first story is a story from someone when I was in London, and they came to me and asked me to do Bible study with them because they had a freaky experience, okay? So here's the first story for today. First story is this. There was this guy, a Brazilian dude, he's a bus driver in the UK. And what happens? He comes to me, because he knew I was a pastor, and he says, hey pastor, can you do Bible study with me? I was like, sure. I'm like, why all of a sudden you want to do Bible study? And he's like, okay, so there's two things that happened to him, okay? First one is this. He said he was sitting at his kitchen table, and it's all, it's like quiet, he's by himself, and he's drinking some tea. And he said all of a sudden, the table starts shaking and his cup starts moving towards him, right? So he's like, whoa, and he's like, everything's shaking, table, and then all the cups moving towards him. He stops, he's like, what the heck was that? So now he's thinking to himself, is like, maybe it was like an earthquake or something along that line. Second time, he said this is the one that freaked him out the most. So, London is a place super expensive. It's very, it's super expensive to live. And he was sharing his bedroom with some Italian girl, right? And he comes home late from work as a bus driver, and he doesn't want to wake her up, so he keeps the lights off, comes in, changes his clothes, takes a shower, and he comes back and he lies in bed. So it's, he closed the door, it's pitch black inside his room, and he's lying down. Out of nowhere, he hears this sound. And he's like, oh, and it's coming from the girl, from the Italian girl. He freaks out. He's like, what? He runs out of the room. He grabs a bat. He comes back into the room to sleep, and he puts the bat next to his bed, and he leaves the door open so there's some light that comes in. But he said after those 2 experiences, he's like, okay, something's going on, something demonic or satanic is happening. So, and he says like, I got to do Bible study, right? So he's freaked out. And I heard those 2 stories, like, wow, that's really interesting. People have these experiences, right? Second time, this is my personal experience. Now, when I was 19 years old, I started, those of you who heard, I started really getting into my faith, a little bit more fiery and passionate for God, right? And my pastor, my senior pastor, really like a mentor. I really look up to him, he taught me so much just about life, about the Bible, God, a lot of different things. But he said to me, he's like, you know what? You should always start your day with God. And I was like, yeah. And he's like, so in the morning, the first thing you do is you got to pray and connect with God. I was like, all right, that's good. And then he says, the reason why you pray early is because there's no schedules that are going to be like, oh no, like, oh, do I have a next schedule? Oh, how much time do I have left? But in the morning, you wake up early before the sun rises and you have time to pray. without any interruptions. And then he says, hey, but if you really want to get like really spiritual, why don't you go ahead and pray a little bit earlier? I was like, how early? He's like, 3 a.m. I'm like, what? He's like, try it for a week and you'll see. I was like, all right. Woke up at 3 a.m., took a cold shower to wake myself up. I go downstairs, I have a mat on the ground, and I'm on my knees praying like this. Okay, now, this is my personal experience. This is the thing that's like crazy. So I'm praying on my knees, like, you know, you're on your knees praying like this. And then all of a sudden, it's like my spirit left my body and I was watching myself pray. Okay? So I'm up here and I'm looking at myself praying and I'm like, what the heck is going on? But the crazier part was I wasn't alone. I'm watching myself, right? So I'm on my knees with my hands together like this, praying like this, and there's a spirit in front of me, like this close, black body, and the face is all white. And it's so close to my face that when I was watching it, that if I went like this, the white face would have been right in front of me. Once I saw that, I freaked out and my spirit went back into my body. And of course, I'm doing like the crate, like, please God, help me. I love you so much. Please God, help me. I'm praying with all my heart. I'm kind of even praying like, I'm punching in front of me like, please God, help me, save me, right? And then I'm just like, okay. I'm like, is it done? I gotta open my eyes. Nothing is there. I jump up, run upstairs, jump into my bed, go under the covers, and I go back to sleep. But it was one of the freakiest things I saw. Now, why is this such an important thing? Is because for me, this is one of the things that kind of compelled me even more to believe, because I'm starting to see spirits, right? You start to see that there is a spiritual realm, you know? Like, because remember, people always wonder, like, is there heaven or hell? You know, is there even a life after death? But the interesting thing was, after seeing these spirits and understanding, I'm like, whoa, these spirits are dead, or I see my own spirit. There has to be a spiritual world after, and it begins to kind of open my mind even more to think about the next world. Like, wow, so there is a spiritual world, which means, you know, there's a bigger possibility or bigger chance that there's a God there, right? So that's, you know, two experiences that I've had. It's scary as heck. It was so scary because I remember I was 19 back then, but it was something that also made me think a lot deeper. So, you know, guys, I would love to hear if you guys have had any of those experiences. I've been in 23 countries. Every single country I've been to have all had ghost stories. Someone who's seen a ghost. Not everyone, obviously, but there's always someone there. But if you guys got any stories, tell me. I want to hear those ones, especially Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia. I haven't heard any stories yet in Southeast Asia. Go ahead and tell me that if you have any stories. All right, guys, that's my vlog for today. I hope it's something that was very interesting for you. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit subscribe, smash that notification bell, and of course, like and comment below. Like for sure, and comment, and if you don't know what to comment about, tell me what your favorite sporting brand is. Nike, Adidas, New Balance, Puma, you know, Asics, whatever it is, all right? Everyone have an amazing day, and we'll see you guys again later.